Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome back to episode 13 of Europa Universalis 4 as the Iroquois. In the last video we managed to get a few more colonies up and running. We also managed to take the Nanticoke from the Powhatan, and we're just basically slowly expanding our borders in the hopes that we'll be strong enough to deal with any invaders from Europe. Lose 50 admin or lose 10 prestige. Again, I'd rather not lose either, but if it's one or the other, I'd sooner lose the prestige. We'll go ahead and suck up to you guys, because you seem a little bit low down. I mean, you are part of our federation, but you're not particularly happy with us, so we'll try and suck up there where we can. Maybe we might start trying to colonize over in this direction, see if we can get a border with Miami, or even get a border with the Huron. I mean, we can't really force them to migrate. Unfortunately, we don't have any rivals. I really dislike the rival system. Excellent. So we can go and send our colonist here now. I really dislike the rival system since they made the change to it, because now you just can't rival people, and you know, it becomes an absolute nightmare. You can't just rival whoever you want. I don't like that at all. How are the rebel faction? It's at 10%, but we do have a little bit of overextension. Once Nanticoke has been cored, some of that will go away. Unrest. Yeah, overextension. It's only 0.25, but it'll all slow it down. We have lost an advisor. That's the wrong button. It was our military advisor. Land maintenance modifier, national manpower, land force limit. We'll go for the land maintenance modifier. We're not at war. It'll save us some money. Decent amount there. Look at that, 3.86 ducats. Admittedly, the army's not at full... the army isn't at its full maintenance, but that's fine. We can have another unit now. That we'll probably wait on that just a little. So you haven't quite been called yet. You are at... There we go, 100%. Now, we shouldn't be able to flip the culture because it has separatism. Yeah, it cannot convert the culture of a province that has separatism. So we will have to wait for that to go away. But the unrest is dropping down. But yeah, it makes me laugh. Some of the unrest comes from the unaccepted culture, but you can't change the unaccepted culture until the separatism goes away. But at least that does burn off over time, so we don't mind that too much. I really can't see that rebel faction ever sort of gaining a decent foothold. It's going to take far too long. We should be okay, really. Again, nothing going on the coast that I can really see. Well, we are starting to see a little bit more of the map now. But yeah, still nobody from Europe. I mean, we've seen them around. That does look to me like it might be green. So Portugal might be down there. It's difficult to tell. Can't quite work it out. We can pick up a new tech, which is going to be admin tech. That'll be fine, because admin's the one that's furthest behind. Now, the next admin tech will finally be able to get some ideas. We won't be using any ideas for a while, because we'll probably be wanting to try and improve our techs as much as possible. Although maybe we want to westernize first, because doing this thing and reforming the government just says we need a western neighbour and we need a total of 18 technology levels. It doesn't say we need to have... we can westernize and still get 18 technology levels. Lose 50 admin or lose 10 prestige. I don't have 50 admin. So we just go negative 30. A little bit of a shame. I've lost so much prestige already. Now then, we should have... At least I thought we should have a new building. Did we not just get a new building type from level 4? Buildings. Temple. We can build temples, apparently. No, I don't think we can, because we're the wrong government type. We're still stuck with these things here. Okay, that's fine. Nice to get some more development somewhere. But I really don't want to start spending points. If we end up like massively ahead on Diplo, we might spend some points to develop provinces up there. Can we get anything in terms of manpower? Are there any really good provinces for manpower? The answer to that question is no, not really. That one's not too bad. So we'll go ahead and do that. We could go ahead and get a Diplo advisor now. Get the diplomatic reputation one. We don't really need one though. We're not integrating anybody right now. We will recall our diplomat from you. So what are we up to now? You still only have a neutral attitude towards us, which I find quite odd, considering that we're in the same federation. Very strange. We should be able to get on next military tech quite soon as well, and that will actually give us better units. So we'll have ambush infantry then. Give us more supply limit, that'll be nice. We won't have to keep splitting our army up all over the place. Better combat width, and we'll get infantry shock, and obviously cavalry shock's no use to us because we don't have any cavalry, but the infantry shock will be nice. Not too sure if anybody else is on military tech 5. Yeah, there's a few of these guys up here are already on 5. So we are definitely falling behind the curve there. That's not too much of a problem. It should be okay. How's our colony doing? Almost at 400. The Powhatan separatists are up to 20% now. 21.5 years. We could probably reduce it even more if I went up to full army maintenance, but I really just don't think it's worth the money right now. We should find out that that separatism is burning off quite nicely. Where's our separatism? Show me. 12.5. Yeah, it's going down. Lots of furs again. All the trade goods we're getting. Furs everywhere. So, what's the next one should we colonise? Should we go in there and grab the land that's in the middle? I mean, it's safe. Nobody else can colonise that, so we should probably leave that till later and colonise along here somewhere. We could... few places of 6 development. Oh, we should definitely get Massachusetts, actually. It's got a development of 10. So, Massachusetts will be our next colony. And then, I'm not sure on this one. Andros Coggin. We should probably get that afterwards as well. Random money gain. So yeah, Massachusetts and both of those are the ones we want. 10 development on both of them. That'll be really, really good for us. They're also ones that the AI are likely to try and want to settle as well. So let's go ahead and get that military tech. There we go. Now we need to upgrade our infantry type. And we want to go to ambush infantry. So that is all good. Decent amount of money in the bank now. We are at our manpower cap, which is going up slightly. We've just got nobody else that we can fight at the moment. Do we even have a mission? We've got no missions, no current rivals. And again, I think this is one of the things that Paradox need to take a look at, because they added in the whole sort of Native American New World thing in Conquest of Paradise, was it? I think it's part of that DLC. But the problem is, they haven't really given any real amount of love to the mechanics for these guys, because since they made the changes where you can't fabricate claims on people, and since they made the change where you can't just rival whoever you want, you do spend an awfully long time just sat there basically colonising and waiting for things to happen, because you can't actually go to war. And this is something that... I was talking a long time ago, I was talking to Marbazir about EU4, and he actually said that while on the surface EU4 does appear like it's a complex game, once you're outside of war, there isn't really much else to do. And he's absolutely right. EU4 is a game about attacking other people. Certainly you can go tall and try and get points. I mean, obviously there is no sort of victory condition, and some people just use points as a measure of how well they're doing. And you can get points by doing things like just building tall and increasing your trade and things like that. But at the end of the day, the game is designed around conquest. And once you're at peace with everybody, when you're in a truce with everybody, or simply when you don't have anyone you can attack, there's very, very little to do other than whack the game up to full speed and wait for things to happen. Academic institutions are not immune to corruption, and the profits that can be made by abusing positions of great influence can stand in the way of creating a good environment for research. However, Iroquois scientists are largely above this, focusing on genuine intellectual achievements above titles and financial contributions. The lack of corruption in society allows us to explore and invent without being impeded by selfish interests. So we gain 40 of each monarch point. That is good. Great Advisor has died once again. That's our admin. We only just had the admin guy. Stability cost, yearly inflation reduction. Do we have any inflation anymore? Because I did buy it down. We don't have any inflation, so the inflation reduction guy is a bit redundant. We could get the stability cost guy and just go up to 3 stability, but I don't think we need to. So let's go ahead and get the national unrest guy. And then that'll probably take that faction down to next to nothing. We can induce a vision quest. What does this give us? Plus 0.5 yearly prestige and increased stability cost. Well, stability cost is still dead cheap. So that's all of the national decisions that we can take done. These separatists might even go... Yeah, 71.4 years. They're never going to pop now. They haven't got a chance of being able to pop. Again, right-clicked when I should have left-clicked. The separatism's still going to take a long time to go away. But yeah, they're already down to 0.7 unrest. So we're not bothered about that at all. Colony's going quite slowly. So the question is, can we build anything? Irrigation. Well, yeah, we can go and build the irrigation there. That'll give us a tiny bit of extra income. What about manpower? No, it's all pretty terrible, unfortunately. Obviously, it's still bad down here because of the separatism and the wrong culture. If we can get that flipped, it will help. We've got next to no power projection, but, I mean, what can we do? We can't even rival anybody, so how can we get any power projection? That whole thing's a little bit stupid. The indicator here for the federal, whatever they call it, federal something or other. Federal authority, that's disappeared. So you can see the federal authority here, we have 40. The Shawnee have 37, they have 26, but it's normally showed there. I believe the icon is normally like this. It's the little Native American tribal headdress facing the other way. And this is the place where you normally see things like your legitimacy, if you're playing as a feudal monarchy, or you would see things like... if you were a merchant republic, you can see what... I can't even remember what the thing's called there. You can see your piety if you're playing as a theocracy. But yeah, it's just... No, and again, I'm not using any mods. I think last time I played as the Native Americans, it was there. Just obviously, again, one more thing that got broken in a patch or a DLC that either hasn't been noticed or just hasn't been fixed. But I'd be very, very surprised if Paradox don't come along and do something with the Native Americans at some point. It used to work... But I think when they've concentrated so much on changing the way things work in Europe, that things have actually changed. It's had a roll-on effect over here in North America, and they haven't ever gone in there to correct that, which is a little bit of a shame. Just having a look to see if anyone has started colonizing on the west coast here. Doesn't look like it. Obviously Russia, Japan and the likes can get over from that side. Even China if they try really hard, although we have no knowledge of these places. We've seen these strange boats. So here's another thing that I find weird as well. We've already seen the Portuguese over here, we've seen the English over here, and the Castilians over here, all using cavalry. I'm fairly certain that Native Americans have been using horses for quite some time. So how come we're only allowed infantry and not any cavalry? Surely we should be able to build cavalry as Native Americans. I mean, they're not going to be charge cavalry, they're going to be shot cavalry because they're going to have, they're usually, you know, mounted with archers, but still. They should be using horses. Especially now that the Native Americans have seen the Western, I keep saying the Westerners, I suppose it's the Easterners as far as the Native Americans are concerned. But the Native Americans have seen the Europeans using horses, so I'm be very surprised if they didn't adopt that strategy. We are racking up those Diplo points. I want... no, there we go. The unrest is completely gone away now. It's actually at negative 0.2, so those... we don't have to worry about that anymore. We've still got to wait for that separatism to go away before we can do the culture flip, though, which is a pain in the neck. As we've got a decent amount of money, let's go ahead and just build up to the force limit while we're at the manpower cap. Are you actually doing anything being there? Because we know you're not at full... Friendly troops, 0.73. It's actually at 0.7, the unrest. So I can probably safely move you out of there. The unrest will go up slightly while you're not in the province, but it'll go down again next month, I think. Yeah, it's actually spot on 0 now. So, no unrest. We've got no chance of those guys popping up. We can't lower the autonomy. Its minimum value is 75. While it's still got the separatism. A little bit of a pain. Up to 873 colonists. I don't know why it says colonies, because obviously, I suppose it's the list of colonies we have. But yeah, we've got 873 population in the one colony that we have. I definitely think we should go for Massachusetts next for that 10 development. That's 442, this one is 433. So, if we went for Androscoggin, we would have... slightly more manpower, slightly less production. And if we went for this one, we've got to go for Massachusetts, actually, because it's an important natural harbour. So it'll give us more trade power, more sailors, more naval force limit. We don't actually have any sailors yet at all, because we don't use that mechanic yet, because we can't even build ships. And again, I can understand the Native Americans not being able to build ships, but you'd think they could at least build boats. Production, research, flawed. Lose 50 admin or lose 10 prestige. Again, we're going to take the prestige hit. We actually have a mission, improve our prestige. Well, I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen, but we'll take it anyway. I think we have to get it up to 50. It is trending up, of course, because we did actually do the vision quest, so we get plus 0.5 yearly, which is absolutely terrible when you think about it. Gain 100 population in the colony, which is a bit of a waste because it didn't need that many. But let's send you straight over to Massachusetts before, like, England or somebody comes over here and gets it. We'll get that core. -8 national unrest. It's absolutely fantastic for us there. And let's go have a look at irrigation. Can we get that down here? 0.8. It's not fantastic, but it'll do. And it's furs again down here. It's always furs. Flipping waste of time. Absolutely useless furs. And again, there's not really an awful lot going on over here now. As I said, the last time I played this as the Iroquois, I'd pretty much, like, most of this area of the sort of eastern United States and sort of southeast part of Canada was all green. I'd literally got everything from Florida all the way up sort of the, you know, the middle of the US, all the way up to around here. And the only reason it went wrong for me, because I actually quit that campaign. It wasn't one I ever did for video, I was just messing around. And the reason I actually quit is it was in my early days of playing EU4 and I didn't really realise what I was doing, and I westernised off England, which was fine, you know. The westernisation process was happening, but because I was so huge, because I'd taken so much land, it was taking a long time to do the westernisation. And obviously, you've got the rebellions firing left, right, and centre. You've got no money coming in. Your men are really, really weak, and it was an absolute pain. And I was constantly at war with England. I was constantly trying to fight them off while dealing with my own rebels. And then, for some reason, I got an event that allowed me to switch to Catholic. And I don't know why. I can't remember whether I thought it was a good idea or whether I accidentally clicked on the button. But for some reason, I ended up switching over to Catholic. And, of course, that meant that all of my provinces were the wrong religion. So I was getting rebellions from that. And eventually, the country just fell apart. There were so many rebellions, I wasn't physically able to produce enough units to go and fight all the rebels off. And at that point, I went, okay, that's it. I'm done. I've messed this up. So I was kind of hoping when I came back to play it again for this campaign that I'd have a similar experience. But as they've now removed the ability for the Native Americans to fabricate claims on their neighbours, it makes it very, very hard. I mean, yeah, we are one of the largest Native American tribes at the moment, and that's due to a mixture of conquest and colonization. But we're still pretty much isolated here on the East Coast, which is one of the reasons I did pick the Iroquois, by the way, because obviously you're much more likely to run into Portugal, Castile, France, Great Britain if you are playing on the East Coast than you are if you're in the sort of the middle of the US or if you're on the West Coast. Lose 50 admin or lose more prestige. Again, getting pretty annoyed and sick of that particular event now, but what can you do about it? Let's go and keep improving relations here. But again, going back to that conversation I had with Marbazir, this is exactly what we were talking about. We've not got anybody we could declare war on, unless we go for an OCB war. And I guess one of the advantages of playing as a Native American tribe is that your stability cost modifier is actually quite cheap. You know, if we actually go and look at our stability cost right now, if we wanted to go from level 2 to 3, it would still only cost us 137, because our government form and rank give us a 33% reduction, and we've got the wampum belts gives us negative 20, and religious sacrifices gives us negative 20. So in total, we've got like, what, 40, 70, 73% reduction. We've got 73% reduction to our stability cost. Obviously then we've got things like rite of passage and divination that increases it, and positive stability, which increases it again. But I don't even think we've got the no, we could also go and get a stability cost reduction guy as well if we wanted to. So I think that might be part of the idea behind playing as the Native Americans, that you're expected to do lots of no CB wars and just bump your stability up. But as you may remember in the early game, it was very, very difficult to get any decent amount of income. So being at negative stability for any period of time is not good. The Huron are at Tech 5. They're actually in a federation with Ottawa. And it seems like they're only in a federation with Ottawa, nobody else. And these guys are quite small. We might possibly be able to vassalize them. But again, we've got no way to actually get a claim. I guess if we did have a colony here in Seneca, it would possibly give us a mission where we might be able to go and try and vassalize them or something like that. But yeah, unless we do a no CB war, and you can't count the forced migration CB, because the forced migration CB doesn't allow you to, or it doesn't allow conquest. It might allow vassalization. I can't remember now. But at least if you do a no CB war, you can just take what you want. Although it does cause quite a lot of aggressive expansion. But yeah, this is exactly what Marbazir and I were talking about. It's just like, well, what do you do when there's no one you can fight against? You're basically just sat looking at a map. And it's a little bit annoying. And this is one of the things that did concern me. I was a little bit worried that this might end up being a boring series if something like this happened. But I wasn't really expecting it because of my previous experience playing as the Iroquois. Anywhere that's going to give us decent manpower. We get 125 in a few places. We've got these everywhere that matters. Production efficiency isn't really worth squat. Local production, gain some money or gain... Yeah, let's take the free stability, why not? Local production, get some decent here. Oh. Can we not have that? Apparently we can, it was just something weird going on with the interface. And let's go and get one there as well. Let's get some goods produced, that'll help out with things. So at positive 3 stability, we're almost able to get ourselves our next Diplotech. We can do that because we've caught up on administrative. We're still one tech behind, but we are catching up, which is the good thing. But we'll think about what we're going to try and do over the next few videos. Like I said, I'll probably be ending this series relatively soon anyway. It's a shame that we haven't got anyone here that we can start westernizing of yet. But I've got a feeling that as soon as the expansion comes out, which again, as with all Paradox DLCs, will have a free patch, and I believe the change to westernization is probably, I haven't 100% confirmed this, I need to look, but the free patch will probably include the change to the way westernization and technology spread works, because the non-Western tech penalties and the way that non-Western tech groups works, that's been in the game since vanilla, so that is one of the things they were looking to change. So I'll have a think about what we're going to do. Chances are when that DLC comes out in a week or two that this save game will break and it'll be incompatible anyway. But thanks a lot for watching anyway, guys. I hope you are still enjoying this series of EU4 as the Iroquois. Once again, apologies that some of the videos have been a little bit slow. We might just have to go all out and just do an OCB war and you just take the penalties just to see what we can get done. But thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you on the next video, and until then, goodbye for now.